All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Have you ever wondered what actually happens to a company's culture when it grows from a tight-knit group into a sprawling, massive enterprise? Today, we're going to explore how human resources strategies have to fundamentally adapt and scale when headcount absolutely explodes.
To really get a grasp on this, we're looking at a fascinating side-by-side comparison of two real-world examples. On one hand, we've got FlowLink Systems, which is a mid-sized, very close-knit company. And on the other, there's JSW Steel, a massive corporate enterprise. Comparing these two gives us a crystal-clear look at the literal mechanics of corporate scaling and how leadership styles have to adapt to size.
To make sense of all this data, we've organized our analysis into 5 key pillars that track the employee lifecycle: training and skill development, compensation and motivation, culture and conflict resolution, strengths and improvement areas, and finally, the big HR takeaways.
Let's start right in with Pillar 1, Training and Skill Development, Building Capability.
The core question here is, how does company size actually change the way employees learn new skills? It's an absolutely crucial question to start with, because as a company grows from hundreds to literally tens of thousands of employees, how it teaches and upskills its people has to fundamentally shift from organic day-to-day interactions to heavily structured, predictable programs.
The difference in our source material is striking. FlowLink relies heavily on practical, on-the-job, and cross-functional training. It is all about getting your hands dirty with regular technical training, like on hydraulic systems, right there on the factory floor. It builds an immediate safety-first culture. Meanwhile, JSW Steel has completely institutionalized learning through their JSW Learning Academy. We're talking formal induction programs, extensive e-learning, and a huge focus on digital learning and multi-skilling. It's essentially a massive, structured machine designed to improve capability across thousands of workers all at once.
Moving on to Pillar 2, compensation and motivation, valuing the workforce.
Now we have to ask, what truly motivates employees at work? Beyond a standard competitive salary, which both of these companies obviously provide, what actually drives an employee to perform at their absolute best, day in and day out?
Well, we immediately see a fascinating contrast in the benefits offered. FlowLink uses highly tactical, immediate incentives. Think Providence Fund, ESI, leave encashment, and specific overtime and attendance bonuses. It's very direct. JSW Steel, on the other hand, offers massive lifestyle scale benefits. Things like gratuity, full medical and accident insurance, retirement benefits, and highly subsidized canteens, transport, and even housing in some locations. That corporate scale allows them to basically build a total safety net around the employee's entire life. But the crucial point here is the why. What drives the actual human beings working there? For FlowLink employees, motivation stems deeply from recognition and appreciation from seniors. It's that feeling of being a valuable part of the team which creates immediate trust. At JSW Steel, motivation is driven by career growth opportunities and the chance to work on huge, large-scale national projects. JSW provides purpose through sheer scale. So one relies on deeply interpersonal validation, while the other relies on grand structural momentum.
Let's look at Pillar 3, culture and conflict resolution, the daily environment.
The daily vibes here couldn't be more different. FlowLink thrives on an informal, highly flexible environment. They keep things positive through an open-door policy and friendly communication across all levels. When conflicts pop up, they're handled right there through direct discussion with supervisors. HR only steps in if it's absolutely necessary. Conversely, JSW Steel requires heavy structure to maintain peace. They rely on large-scale employee engagement activities, town halls, and formal feedback sessions. Conflicts, those are handled through official HR mediation and a strict grievance redressal system. They absolutely have to emphasize strict process and transparency, because let's face it, informal hallway chats just don't scale to an enterprise level.
Let's transition to Pillar 4, strengths and improvement areas, analyzing the gaps.
Because neither system is flawless, right? For FlowLink, that flexible personal attention means they desperately need more structured career growth paths and formal performance appraisals. On the flip side, JSW's massive scale creates its own hurdle. They need faster internal communication and a lot more flexibility in their somewhat rigid bureaucratic processes.
And this perfectly encapsulates the core trade-off we see everywhere in the data: close-knit flexibility versus structured scale. You are inherently trading the personal attention, small gestures, and rapid, agile decision-making of a mid-sized firm like FlowLink for the robust safety culture, immense stability, and large-scale welfare benefits of a giant corporation like JSW Steel. You really just cannot have both at the exact same time.
Finally, Pillar 5. The big HR takeaways, strategy and purpose.
Looking at the overall picture, FlowLink proves the incredible power of the personal touch, how small gestures of recognition have an outsized impact on motivation. But JSW demonstrates that as you scale, structured HR systems and massive welfare initiatives become completely non-negotiable to drive engagement. It forces you to think strategically about people, process, performance, all at once to align individual goals with organizational success at a massive scale.
I want to leave you with this final, powerful thought directly from the source material. Great HR doesn't just manage people, it inspires performance and builds the future. It reminds us that whether you're managing a close-knit team of 50 or a sprawling enterprise of 50,000, the true goal of human resources remains exactly the same. It's about valuing the humans behind the resources. So, looking at these two vastly different approaches, which environment do you think you would thrive in best? The agile, close-knit family or the structured, grand-scale enterprise? Keep that in mind next time you evaluate a company's culture. Thanks for diving